let's go straight to the lines. Let's go and speak to Bob, who's an England fan. All right, Bob?
Jason, good evening. How are you?
Hello, matey. I'm very well indeed, my friend.
What a night. Absolutely outstanding. What a team this man has built for us. And the momentum's on our side. You know, qualification, 6 games, no goals lost, maximum points. Just the horizons just get brighter and better as each game comes along. And I think just exactly what you said tonight in your introduction, the movement, the fluidity, the quality, the oneness of team performance tonight, it follows on for the games that he's been building on. Yep. And I am absolutely ecstatic that we're doing so well. And I honestly believe that we are in the run for winning this World Cup.
We're in the hunt, that's right. Just to let people know, Bob, I've spoken to you many times. You do have a Scottish accent, but I know you are very, very much of an English persuasion. Just in case anyone thinks there's a wind up, I've spoken to you many, many times. What about that midfield that Rory and I have just spoken about? You know, that trio that looks at the moment as good as anything, and Bellingham will have something to say. There's a lot of good players in there. I mean, there's Cole Palmer that's got to be in there. There's plenty that aren't in the squad right now.
The thing is, you're spot on, right, Jason? This is a balanced team. This is a team that's working and knitting well together. We don't seem to have the problem at the moment of the old historic Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard set up where we're trying to squeeze guys in. We've got guys fitted perfectly to Mr. Tuchel's master plan. And I think it is going to be hard for Jude Bellingham. Of course he's going to be in the squad. Of course he's going to be going with us. But does he start? You know, we've got a plethora of quality there, and that quality is knitting and fitting, and that's what we've cried out for years now in tournaments. We've cried out for teams to have knit and to work together, and that, boy, that's been so impressive. I'm delighted tonight, absolutely.
So what do you think here, Bob? You know the players that haven't made it so far. Jack Grealish isn't involved. Obviously, Cole Palmer's injured, but he's not involved. Phil Foden is another one. Jude Bellingham. Those players, we've constantly spoken about this debate, haven't we, between picking players based on form over reputation. Would you be happy to go into a World Cup with Elliot Anderson starting and Jude Bellingham watching from the sidelines?
100%. If it's performances like we've put in this qualifying competition, of course Jude Bellingham's got to go. Foden's got to go. You've got to bring them on. Do you bring them on as an impact player? You maybe have to consider that. But you cannot start to dismantle this team with its balance and the results that we're achieving with this unit. You can't change it. No. You change it if it starts to fail and falter. But at the moment, it's just working seamlessly.
Bob, listen, you've explained it beautifully, actually. Thanks very much for the call. When we're talking about the midfield, right, you mentioned all those names there. Is a squad game. And we've seen, and you and I have watched so many different competitions over the years for England. The first England team that always starts a competition, as you progress, it's never the same team that plays the last game.
That's true.
Rarely. I'm looking at that England squad, that England team there now. I'm trying to think of players that will come in right now. I can name 2 that I think will. I think Reece will, and I think Mark Gahey will. They're the 2 that I think will come in that can strengthen that tean. I'm not sure he's going to touch too much more, actually.
Well, do you think Anthony Gordon starts for England?
I think, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. And I think that he has given him that shirt, and I think he seized it. I've always felt that Anthony Gordon, what I saw from Anthony Gordon tonight was he was told, you get that ball, you go past your fullback. I don't want you cutting inside. I want you passing the ball backwards. If you can't go past him, of course, they're doubling up. You go, first touch, bang, gone past him. His intentions were from the first whistle. Same as Saka on the other side. Not quite as direct on the outside, but he's got Jed Spence going there. The width of the pitch, the movement, the pace, it's as good as I've seen. And I know it's Latvia, but you still got to see that work in progress. I think Gordon starts, Raw.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
See, do you know... You mentioned it, didn't you, that there is like an evolution of the England team through a tournament.
Yeah.
Like, remember Beckham didn't start and then he made himself undroppable. I can see a world where maybe you're right, maybe Gordon starts, but then maybe Marcus Rashford makes himself undroppable. Maybe Elliot Anderson does start, but Jude Bellingham comes on, gets a winner and makes himself undroppable. I just think that, beating Latvia is great, and winning this group the way that we have at a canter is great. Not conceding goals, winning 6 out of 6, being the first European team to make it. These are all wonderful things. But ultimately, it's going to come down to, and the Tuchel era is going to come down to, a quarter-final in Dallas against France.
Yep.
And on that occasion, I just feel like you're going to need a Bellingham or a Foden or a Grealish.
That, do you know what? That still might happen from the bench. In the modern game now, you look at big games, and often you look at the bench as much as you do the first 11.
Yeah.
What can happen off that bench? There's a lot that's going to happen between now and June the 11th when the World Cup kicks off in America in 2026. Go back to the lines, 03717 22 33 44. Mike's a Manchester United fan. Michael, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Hello, matey. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Oh, what a win, wasn't it?
Great performance. Great win.
Oh, great win. I just really hope these players don't get injured before the World Cup.
Yeah, well, that's probably going to happen somewhere down the line.
That's the spirit, Jace.
It probably does. I mean, it happens every tournament, doesn't it? It's always someone that picks something up.
It does, but I mean, the authority tonight, with everyone 10 out of 10, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to start like that. Under Gareth Southgate, when the group stage, we were so slow, lethargic. You know, we need to put a stamp on it. If we're going to really go for it, if he really wants to win this, they're going to have to put a stamp on it and go, right, this is the way we're going to play like that. Do you think the French, if we play like that against the French, do you think the French could actually beat us?
Do you know what I will say, right, is that it's all well and good going over to Latvia in mid-October. When you go over into mid-June in America, the temperature is going to be very different. I don't think that first half performance, I think you'll have to get your rest. I think there's going to be different players for different games, obviously, but I don't think that intensity will be able to be kept up for 45, 50, 60 minutes. I think that there will be moments where you need to have a rest.
Oh, correct, but I meant like move the ball as quick as they did tonight.
Why not? I don't see why not. I mean, you know, there's the balance of the midfield is as good as I can remember it.
Well, I remember back in the day when it was like, oh, how do you play Gerrard and
of course.
Lampard? Yeah.
But ultimately, though, Mike, like injuries aside, obviously I understand why you've got that fear. Injuries aside, what's your starting midfield? We're opening the World Cup. We're starting our first day in America. Who's your starting midfield?
What we press play tonight, I'd keep it the same. I wouldn't change a thing if I could help it.
Really? So look, it's easy saying it, but that means that you've got players of the experience and the silverware of Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden watching at best from the bench. You sure?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, feels wild to me.
It does feel wild, but that's the evolution that we were just discussing. It's happening in front of our eyes, and I think to take that look. There's a lot of football that's got to be played between now and then. Loss of form, injuries. Heaven forbid none of these boys get injuries. But there's a lot that can happen between now and then. We still really don't know what a Phil Foden in an English shirt under Tuchel looks like. We don't know what a Bellingham looks like in an English shirt. Tell you what we do know. We know what a Rodgers looks like in an English shirt. And that, we've got better and better, and we're really starting to see that now. Listen, Mikey, thanks for the call. Keep the calls coming, gang. England, first European side to make it to the World Cup in 2026 over in America. Starts June 11th. We'll be there. And Thomas Tuchel's bunch of merry men will be there as well. Keep the calls coming. 03717 223344. You are listening to the Sports Bar here on talkSPORT. talkSPORT Bet. Download the new app today. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.